Notre Dame looks for its 10th straight win to close out the regular season as they head west and take on Stanford in the battle for the Legends Trophy.
By Samarja, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go! You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal!
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, five, rocket touchdown!
Notre Dame is number one!
It's a game of who's going to flinch first. We know that isn't going to be Notre Dame.
Hello again, everybody. Landen Trailer with John Richards. Logan and Dylan could not be with us today, but they wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. From John Richards and I, and here at the Gold Numbers Report, we wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. That being said, we got some business to attend. Notre Dame and Stanford meet again, a rivalry that started way back in the early 1900s in the Rose Bowl, and they met ever since. It's been known as the SAT Bowl in recent years, just because of the prestigious academic universities that these two institutions are. But there have been so many historical matchups, players, teams. JR, we've gone there a couple times with national championship implications on the line, and they've knocked us off, and vice versa. More of us than them, but still, it's a very historical rivalry.
It is, and it started back in the 90s and the 80s with Bill Walsh, Dennis Green. Bill Walsh came in here and knocked us off as a big favorite in the middle of a regular season on a bright, sunny day. So we got to go out there and play our best. We don't know how hard they're going to play. Not sure what's in it for them at this stage of the game, but we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Stanford obviously they've been down for the last few years, and it's been sad to see. It's been very sad to see. COVID really hit them hard. Unfortunately, I think, they were down in 2019. They were down in 2020, obviously. And then 21 on, they've just been very poor. They fired their head coach. But Stanford and Notre Dame, it was a staple of Logan and I's childhood. There have been so many good matchups with Notre Dame and Stanford. I remember the 2012 matchup. I was there with Logan. 2014, I was there with Logan. And then 2016, they come and knock us off. 2022, they come and knock us off. We went out there in 2015 and stuff like that. So that being said, let's focus on the present for now. Stanford enters 4-7. They're 3-5 of the ACC. They're led by interim head coach Frank Reich and general manager Andrew Luck. JR, Frank Reich, a respected and damn good head football coach of the NFL. And, of course, Andrew Luck, amazing quarterback. Did not pan out, unfortunately, with the injuries, but still a great IQ and a great offensive mind for Stanford to have.
Yeah, absolutely. In today's college football landscape, you have to have total alignment from the top to the bottom. You look at a school like LSU right now, I mean, they are an absolute mess, starting from the top all the way down to the bottom.
Very true.
Stanford, they are struggling, but they seem to have a unified vision with Luck and Reich. So they're 4-7. When I say I don't know how much they have to play for, they're not going to go to a bowl game.
Right.
This is their Super Bowl.
100%.
But Reich and Luck, they have one vision, one goal, one direction, and they're all trying to get there. So they do seem to have some alignment. Now that they have the hierarchy in place, they kind of have to get NIL and recruiting and all that situated. But, college football is definitely better when Stanford is good. So let's hope that they keep going in that direction because they're a great opponent to have on the schedule, especially when both teams are, top 10 worthy.
Right, and they're already improving from the last 2 years. I mean, I believe they met their win total for the last couple of years. And then obviously a win over Notre Dame would be the biggest win in years for Stanford. So you could mention the Colorado game a few years ago, but you're right. They're structured. A lot of teams today in today's landscape are not structured. Like you mentioned LSU, they don't have the good structure. They don't have a good hierarchy. But Stanford is one of those. They opened the year with a 23-20 loss on a Thursday night at Hawaii, and then they fell 27-3 at BYU before opening up conference play with a 30-20 victory at Boston over Boston College in Palo Alto. And then they lost 48-20 at Virginia before beating San Jose State 30-29. And then they went on the road to SMU and got walloped 34-10 before beating Free Shoe U 20-13. And then they really, in the back half of their schedule, played a gauntlet. 42-7 loss at number 9 Miami. 35-20 loss versus then unranked Pitt, and then a 20-15 loss at North Carolina. Last week, however, you could argue that Stanford played their most complete game and their best game, beating the Cal Golden Bears 31-10 and sending the Bears coach packing after that game. So, JR, they've played a decent schedule, gotten blown out a couple times. However, the last game that they played was their most complete game of the year. A lot of momentum heading into their biggest game of the year.
Listen, they are certainly battle tested and they've played some tough opponents. BYU, I mean, look at them. They're no physical, easy test to go against. Virginia, they're not bad. Miami, we know what they are, and Pittsburgh. Those are 4 pretty good teams. Plus, you throw in a Bill Belichick coached UNC team that they competed with. You know, they're certainly outmanned, compared to us.
Right.
But, they're not going to be intimidated. They play us every year. We've got a few common opponents. I think their schedule is going to prepare them for this. I got a lot of respect for Stanford, especially the 2 guys that are kind of leading them. So, it's our last chance to go out there and really make an impression. We've got a few goals that we can chalk up along the way. I'm hoping for when we get to our keys, I'll mention some of that. But, Stanford, I don't want to take these guys lightly at all because
you can never.
This is a little bit of a goofy time too. So you got to go out there ready to play.
Yeah, better watch out here. Ben Gulbranson, dealing with an injury. He has 1,813 yards, 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He did not play at North Carolina, nor did he play against Cal last week. Their backup quarterback is a freshman. He has 625 yards this year, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. The running back, we saw him last year at Notre Dame Stadium. Micah Ford, 643 yards and 4 touchdowns on the year. And then Cole Tabb with 413 yards and 3 touchdowns. JR, you look at this offensive line, they have been awful. They have been injured. They've been banged up. They've given up 39 sacks this year. They've only allowed their offense to get 928 rushing yards on the year, and they have a few negative yard rushing games, which means sacks included. So JR, offensive line banged up, yes, but they have been abysmal. You could point to this position group to say that why they're 4-7, at least a big part of it.
Yeah, and I'm sure they know that. They're going to identify that area of the field in order to, fill the cupboard, so to speak. And it's a tough matchup with us rolling in there. You see some of the pressure numbers that have been released this week, and we're like leading the nation in pressure. So it's going to be tough for them. They're going to want to stop our run as well. We'll see how they do with that. But, listen, when Stanford's been really good, they've been able to go 8 men on the line, line you up, and just ram it down your throat.
Right.
I mean, on both lines of scrimmage too. They pound it down your throat and they say, "Come on, bring it. Let's have you try and run it down our throat, and we'll stop you." That's when they've always been good. So, those guys, they'll identify what they need. They'll upgrade, but those are definitely 2 areas that could be a long day for them coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, growing up, Stanford had Christian McCaffrey and Bryce Love, the running backs. They just absolutely destroyed us. Their offensive line, they had good tight ends as well. They would line up their tight end. Let's go. Bam, meet you at the line. Bam, man. Offensively for the Cardinal, though, 19 points per game, a little bit better than Syracuse's 12. 222 pass yards per game, 84 rush yards per game. If they are going to beat us, it is going to be through the air. 337 sack yards given up. Let me say that again. 337 sack yards given up this year. 29:51 is their total time of possession. So they do like to milk the clock a little bit. Would not be surprised if they perhaps take a little page out of Wisconsin's book, how Wisconsin played against Indiana. Kind of keep the ball out of Indiana's hands and limit IU's possessions. So would not be surprised if we see that from Stanford a little bit. And that they are -3 in the turnover ratio. So JR, as we mentioned, just a struggling offense, but I would not be surprised if they kind of play keep away with the Notre Dame offense this game.
They have absolutely nothing to lose. They may play some keep away. They may do some goofiness on special teams. You better be prepared for, like an onside kick, maybe a trick play here and there. They have absolutely nothing to lose.
Right.
They're very smart over there, very ingenious. So they may kind of pull into their bag of tricks there. Listen, Notre Dame's got some limitations when it comes to recruiting because of their academic, status. Stanford's even worse, so they got a lot of work to do on both sides of the ball. But, other than us playing them, I kind of respect and root for Stanford. I really appreciated them when they had Bill Walsh, Denny Green. Let's not forget Harbaugh was there. So in order to beat us, they don't really have a good identity because they don't do a lot very well. But they're going to try and throw everything they can at us this weekend for sure.
I was a big fan of David Shaw as well.
David Shaw. Could I even forget him? I mean,
yeah, I thought he got
of the current day.
Yeah, I thought he got hosed there at Stanford, given what he went through and all that he did for the program.
COVID really crippled Stanford.
Yes.
Kind of across the board, they sort of pivoted from all of their athletic programs at that point, and now they're sort of kind of rebuilding.
Yeah. Right. Now, defensively, Stanford gives up 29 points per game, 256 pass yards per game, and they gave up 473 to San Jose State. 473 passing yards to San Jose State. Wow. 101 rush yards per game as well. They only have 3 takeaways all year. They do get to the quarterback, 23 sacks this season for 175 yards, 7 forced fumbles, and 10 fumbles recovered. Overall, JR, as we mentioned, I think it's just a team who they're still trying to figure out what they are, what they want to be going forward, who they are, and who they want to be. They're not great, but I don't think they're awful. I don't think they're a Boston College or a Syracuse. They're definitely competent and on the rise, I think, is a good way to describe Stanford.
Yeah, that is fair. One thing I want to mention is that, they want to play a little bit of keep away, time of possession. You saw how overrated that stat was last week. So,
that's true. 18. We had 18 minutes of time, and that we ended up scoring 70
the ball for the first I don't know how many minutes, and it was already 21-0. So, no, that's a good point. They're kind of rebuilding and reshaping their entire athletic department, and they know they can't survive the other programs without having a legitimate football program. So, here they are. Let's keep playing them too. We need to root for their success. And, again, this is kind of a catch-22 because they're bad. And if we drill them, everybody's going to say, Notre Dame's not playing anybody. They're not in a conference. Stanford stinks. All that. So
true.
There's only one way we can win this game, and that is decisively.
Very true. Very true. If it comes down to a fourth quarter ball game, we'll drop in the rankings 100%, I think.
We don't want to be grouped and compared with, all these fringe teams. We want to be solidly locked in. After this past weekend and some of the comments that were made last night, we're pretty entrenched right now. We need to keep it that way.
Yeah,
this is our last appearance.
Right, 100%. Last little audition, if you will. Let's get into those keys slash goals for the game, JR.
Well, obviously, yeah, Carr remains
A key, yeah, yeah.
high on my list, and we didn't really get to see last week much of him, so that's still a very high priority. Um, how do we replace KVA? That's going to be an interesting storyline. It's how much are we going to be able to see because we're playing Stanford?
Hmm.
But that's something that we need to attack and address immediately because that's where teams are going to look to take advantage of us if we do get into the playoff.
Right.
And I'll say this, man. I know it's not our main purpose and main goal, but it would be really cool for Notre Dame and Jeremiah Love to win the Heisman. So if he can have some sort of a game where he pulls off a couple of more, Heisman moments to stack on his credentials, I'm all for it. So I'm going to go Carr number one.
Yeah.
How do we replace KVA? And let's try to get Love the Heisman. I think that would be a really cool thing. We haven't had anybody since Tim Brown. Ismail probably got screwed over Detmer, who's really been there since. Let's go Love. I'm all for it.
Awesome. Awesome. I would love that. And I would, oh, that'd make me so happy. My keys to the game, pressure the quarterback. As I mentioned, their offensive line is abysmal. I do think they're going to load the box, so I want to see Carr air it out with some play action. That's something we haven't really utilized this year is play action. I would really love to see us do that. And then lastly, protect Carr. They do get to the quarterback, 23 sacks this year, so we got to make sure we have good protection on CJ Carr. Notre Dame leads this series 23-14. They won last year at Notre Dame Stadium 49-7. The last time these two squads met at Stanford, it was the Audric Estime game where the Irish would win it 56-23. And the last Stanford win came in 2022 inside of Notre Dame Stadium under the lights 16-14. One of the worst losses of the Marcus Freeman era as Stanford came in as over 21-point underdogs. And the last Stanford home win was in 2017, where they dominated Notre Dame 38-20. A couple of matchups that I want to hint at. 2012, a 20-13 overtime victory in the pouring down rain of the undefeated season at Notre Dame Stadium. 2014, a 17-14 victory for Notre Dame as Everett Golson hit Ben Koyak at the back corner of the end zone for the win. And then who could forget 2015, the Stanford victory that kept Notre Dame out of the playoffs, 38-36 on the last second field goal. So a lot of history between these two, a lot of historical and great matchups between the two. That being said, time for week 14 picks. It is the last week of the regular season. Folks, here we go. It's in the thick of it between JR and Logan. Logan is 227-70. JR is 226-71. I'm not even going to say Dylan and I were in last place. Dylan's two behind me, but doesn't really matter. It's between JR and Logan. Prison inmate game of the week. It had to be this one, folks, and it's ironic that it's on the CW network. Boston College at Syracuse, 3 p.m. on the CW network.
Wow. BC at Syracuse. Trying to find a line here. Oh, there it is.
This is so bad. This is one of the worst I've done.
I'm going to go BC. I think they're playing a little better than Syracuse.
Yeah, BC is definitely on a better path and trajectory. I think they get their first ACC win. Give me BC. The unranked slate this week is absolutely loaded, folks. And we'll get into it here. Navy at Memphis, Thursday night, 7:30 on ESPN. Navy, yeah, Memphis minus 5.5.
Yeah, very good game. I'm going to take Memphis, but don't be shocked here. Navy, they could pull this out.
I'm going Navy. I'm going Navy in this ball game.
Iowa,
yeah. Iowa at Nebraska, Friday night, 12 p.m. on CBS. I said Friday night, but I meant Friday afternoon on CBS.
Yeah, nooner. I don't have a lot of faith in Nebraska right now. I'll go Iowa.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed in the season Nebraska turned out. Give me Iowa in this ball game. Kentucky at Louisville. Talk about a downfall. Louisville is a dumpster fire right now. They play at noon on the ACC network on Saturday afternoon.
Kind of a coin flip game here.
Kentucky's awful though. If
They
Louisville
are.
loses, that'd be
I'll go
very
Louisville.
bad. Man, there's talks about Brom having one foot out the door here in Louisville. I don't know. I'm going Louisville. Clemson at South Carolina, the Dylan Kearns Bowl. He lived very close to both of these schools. This is at noon on the SEC network. Excuse me.
God, two weird teams here. They've had odd seasons. South Carolina, you could argue they should have beat Bama. They should have beat A&M. Who are they? Clemson. I don't know what they're trying to do. Uh, Give me South Carolina. I'll ride with the Cox.
Go Cox. I'm rolling with South Carolina as well in this ball game. Clemson would finish 6-6. South Carolina would finish 5-7 if that happened. Houston at Baylor, 12 p.m. on TNT. A tricky, sneaky good game in the Big 12.
Waco, tough place to play. Give me the Baylor Bears here.
Yeah, man, we're on the same mind today. I got Baylor as well in this ball game. Wake Forest at Duke, 3:30 on the ACC network.
You see, there's still a world where Duke can win the ACC.
They need a lot of help, but yes, it is possible.
This is at Duke.
Yeah.
Give me Duke. Wake, they've had a nice year though. Congrats to them, because the beginning of the year, things didn't look so good for them.
No, I thought they would go 0-12 or something like that, but they have really surprised me. I'm going Wake Forest actually to win this ball game. I believe they would finish 9-3 if that happens, maybe 8-4 or something like that. Let's see here. Yeah, 9-3 for the first year head coach of the roster turnaround. That's amazing. I'm going Wake. Cincinnati at TCU, 3:30 on Fox.
Tricky game here.
Yeah,
Long
good game.
travel. I'm going to go TCU. They're a little Jekyll and Hyde too.
I'm going with Cincinnati to bounce back on the road. They're a good team. Feel like they've had a tough schedule for sure. Florida State at Florida, 4:30 on ESPN2.
This could have been the Cobra game of the week.
This very well could have been.
I mean,
my God. Jeez.
Florida.
Oh. I'm going Florida as well. I have no faith. They just said they're returning that.
Evils.
Yeah, they said that they're retaining Mike Norvell. Give me Florida in this ball game.
Did they make that announcement?
Yeah. He's coming back.
Good for
yeah.
We're ND and they're not. Good for them. Wish you well.
I mean, what are they doing? Oh my goodness. Number 7 Ole Miss at Mississippi State Friday afternoon. I keep saying that. 12 p.m. on ABC. This used to be Thanksgiving night. But noon Friday, ABC. Mississippi is favored by 7.5. What's going on at Ole Miss? Lane staying or going?
Yeah, a lot of weirdness flying around that whole situation. The Egg Bowl has historically, at least recently, had a habit of going to the road team. I don't know if that happened last year or not, but give me the Lane train. But Mississippi State, they're
competent
with all the things that are going around with Ole Miss and Lane. I'll go with them, but it wouldn't shock me if Mississippi State won.
That would be huge for us. Let me say that right now. That would be
other people.
That would be huge for us. However, I gotta go with my gut, and I gotta pick Ole Miss. I think they're the better team at the end of the day. I love their quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss.
Some of these SEC schools, they're actually Big Ten schools too. You almost don't want to make the conference championship game. You
Very
can
true.
kind of lay seeds and
Yeah.
avoid that whole thing. Why
Mhm.
not? Look at Oregon.
Relax. Right.
Yeah.
Relax. Right. Number 13, Utah travels to Kansas Friday, 12 p.m. on ESPN.
Give me Utah. They never play the same way on the road, though.
Very true. They never play the same way in the day either. Give me Utah, though, as well. Number 4, Georgia versus number 23, Georgia Tech, Friday, 3:30 on ABC. The game is in Atlanta. Technically, it's a neutral game, but it's like a matter of miles away from Tech's campus.
Yeah, about a month ago, you were thinking that maybe Georgia Tech could pull this off, but their
Right?
defense has taken a nosedive. I just don't see them being able to win this game. I do think that they'll come with some testicular fortitude after losing last week, but give me Uga here.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I think Georgia blows them out upright.
They might.
Just straight up blows them out, I think.
Two
That is
teams
my
going
take.
in opposite directions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's their coach's situation as well? You never know. I
Yeah.
mean, number 3, Texas A&M at number 16, Texas, Friday night, 7:30 on ABC. Whew. I love this game.
A big game. And in a way, we kind of need A&M to win this.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pick Texas, though. I'm going to take
Oh,
it home with that defense. I think it's going to cause a little bit of chaos.
whoa.
Give me Texas.
Wow. That place is going to be rocking. That place is going to be a madhouse. Might be the best atmosphere of the weekend. Give me A&M on the road, though. They've shown time and time again they can go on the road and beat a good team. I think we're the better team than Texas. I don't believe in Arch Manning. Give me A&M on the road to beat Texas. Number 2, Indiana at Purdue. Friday night, 7:30 on NBC. Folks, Indiana is planning a stripe out at Ross-Ade Stadium. There's been groups on Twitter that are planning a stripe out of Ross-Ade Stadium. Would absolutely love to see it. One of the few times I'll root for IU football here.
The shirtless brigade in pinstripes overtaking
Oh,
Ross-Ade Stadium. That would be epic. Give me the Hoosiers, big.
oh yeah. Give me the Hoosiers. It's Signetti came to his press conference on Monday or Tuesday, whatever, and he said Purdue's a very much improved team. They're a better team than last year. So he's all 100% dialed in on this game. He might hang 80 on these
Go Hoosiers,
idiots.
baby.
Yeah.
Hoosiers. You see the ball up there.
Yeah.
There it is. Yep. Is yours autographed?
Yeah, Don Fisher.
Oh, I got Bobby. My boy Tom Lee got me that.
Yours is a little bit better than mine.
The Don, he's pretty good.
Yeah, my hero. Here we go. Number 25, Arizona at number 20, Arizona State. Friday night, 9 p.m. on Fox. Man, the Friday night slate's loaded.
This is a good game. I'm going to go dilly-dilly at home.
Yeah, they've had a weird year, man. They have had a really weird year. I'm going with Arizona on the road. I think they're playing a lot better right now. Number 1, Ohio State at number 15, Michigan, 12 p.m. on Fox.
You talk about a team who could really throw a wrench into things as well. What would a Michigan and a Texas win do to the bottom of that?
What would it do for us? Because you could very well make the case for both.
Yeah, it would. So I'm saying we need some people to separate, and this is a funky weekend because it's not just our last opportunity to make an impression. It's a lot of these other schools' opportunity to make an impression. They're probably not going to make the conference championship either. Is Tate playing? Is Smith playing? I know it's 10.5. Give me 0 State.
I gotta pick Ohio State here. Michigan can't throw the ball. Michigan cannot throw the ball, and I hate to say it. I hope Brian Day doesn't make this game like he did last year a blank measuring contest and say, "Hey, we're more physical than you guys. We're going to show you 4 quarters of FU football," and then not use your talent and lose. I mean, that was coaching malpractice last year from Ryan Day.
His messaging all week long has been a little bit different. It seems to
Yes.
be trying to alleviate some of the pressure and some of that bravado. Thank God
Yeah.
I have Uncle Pat with him on staff taking a media pointers, but just talent for talent, team for team. This is a game that Ohio State should win probably comfortably, but like
Stop
you
the
said,
run.
like you said, you might want to throw logic out the window in this game because things have not made sense recently in this rivalry.
Right. I mean, what was last year? If Ryan Day coached last year like he did against Notre Dame, I think Ohio State beats Michigan last year by 21 points.
Yeah,
Easily.
and you have to think even with an Ohio State loss here, they're still probably the favorites to win the national championship.
Just talent alone, based
Yeah,
on roster alone.
right.
Right. 100%. Uh, both going Ohio State here. Number 5, Texas Tech at West Virginia, 12 p.m. on ESPN. Does West Virginia have it in them to pull one off at home? No.
Yeah, the
No.
head knock our
Yeah.
two friends.
Yeah. Number 12, Miami at number 22, Pittsburgh, 12 p.m. on ABC.
Where's the line for this one?
It is 6.5 towards Miami. Never know with that atmosphere in Pitt, though. Like, what's it going to be?
Yeah, I think the weather is going to be a little goofy too. I'll go Miami, but wouldn't be surprised if Pitt won.
I have Pittsburgh outright in this ball game. I got Pitt winning it over Miami, knocking them out. Then we'll hear them whine and cry about, oh, we should still be in. Yeah, all that for nothing.
What was the Notre Dame pit line compared to what's the Miami and pit line? That should tell you the state of the two teams right now. And you heard it from the committee. I'm kind of tired of this whole head to head. Okay, they beat us. That was in August.
We're here right now. We're here. Miami's here the way we're playing and they're playing. Okay. Thank you. UCF at number 11, BYU, 1 p.m. on ESPN2. Number 6, Oregon at Washington, 3:30 on CBS. JR, any objections?
No, but watch out.
Tough place to play, 100%. I actually saw this is one of the loudest stadiums in America because the way that stadium's built, it holds the noise in with the pillars or the awnings that are over the stadium. So watch out. However, Oregon's no stranger to Washington. LSU at number 8, Oklahoma, 3:30 on ABC. I would love to see a Bayou Bengal upset here.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen though.
Damn it. I don't either. Give me Oklahoma. Mobile Homa. Mobile Homa. Mobile Homa. Number 14, Vanderbilt at number 19, Tennessee, 3:30 on ESPN.
Another team that we could use some separation. Vandy. People are going to be pushing for Vandy, man. And Pavia, this is his chance to jump into the Heisman race. I'm going to go Vandy here, but it would be nice to have a little bit of help from Rocky Top.
I don't see Vanderbilt going into that atmosphere and beating Tennessee. Tennessee's a mess right now. I will say, I believe they had to kick somebody off the team. I don't know. I got Tennessee. I'm going with my gut at home. Give me Tennessee. Virginia Tech at number 18, Virginia, 7 p.m. on ESPN. Any objections here for the Cavs?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm going with UVA as well. Number 10, Alabama at Auburn, 7:30 on ABC.
The line's only 6 here.
Night game at Jordan Hare. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go Bama here, but watch out.
I'm going Bama as well, but I think Auburn's going to be playing fired up. They're playing for a bowl game as well.
Right.
UCLA at number 17, USC, 7:30 on NBC. Yeah. It would help us if USC could finish 9-3 and ranked. Number 21, SMU at Cal, 8 p.m. on ESPN2. Cal just fired their head coach. We will continue on. Charlotte at number 24, Tulane, 7:30 on ESPNU. Tulane will advance to the American Championship. Number 9, Notre Dame at Stanford, 10:30 p.m. Whew! Get the coffee, get the Irish coffee, get the adult beverages out. This is at 10:30 p.m. on ESPN. Whew, boy.
Yeah, and you hate that also. That's not going to help Love's Heisman
True.
candidacy because how many eyes are going to be glued into that game at that time of night? So, um, we've highlighted all the problems Stanford has, where we're at right now. Um, I got the Irish in this one comfortably 48-12.
Yeah, I mean, not going to spend too much time on this, folks. I got Notre Dame 56-14. I think we hang another 50 burger on the team. I think it is competitive at first. I think we struggle in the first couple minutes. We always seem to struggle there in the first quarter at Stanford, but I think we lock in. I see the first quarter about a 7-7. With that being said, we are back next Monday. Go ahead, JR.
Do you have our friends pick?
I do not yet, but we will let you know in the group chat.
Okay.
That being said, we are back next Monday to recap Stanford and the regular season. We hope you all have a very happy Thanksgiving, especially with an Irish victory. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and go Irish.